Good morning, everybody. I'm David. I'm a TI, and I'm here with Vinny. He's been on the show before, so you could go back and look at some of his videos. He's here to do a follow up. I think he's done one follow up already. However, since the last time we talked, he's had a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm going to be turning it over to him to discuss whatever he needs to be discussing, and I'll be asking questions as we go. Um, just thinking any of that. Oh yeah. Well, I'll wait. I got some t-shirt thing going on, but I got to talk to this person first and get it organized before I mention it or wear anything. So anyway, Vinny, go ahead.
David, good to see you again. It's been
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
oh yeah, man. I really appreciate it. It's been I really need to upload I really need to start uploading content to my channel right now. I have just the last interview we did on there. I just been busy with other stuff. Sometimes I'm having a little hard time getting the motivation up. But man, it was I had a bad summer this year. I went through a lot of psychotronic attacks, a lot of microwave attacks, B2K, gang stalking, and then probably the worst thing that happened to me. I somehow contracted MRSA a month ago, like I was telling you, and I'm certain now that they're able to, using the millimeter waves, they can carry the bacteria right over to your body. Now, the thing I didn't mention before, right before so MRSA, the bacteria lives inside your nose and it waits for you to spread it to an open pore on your body. Now, right before that happened, they hit me with probably several hundred. I had these scab marks all over my lower abdomen and all
Yeah.
over thighs. Everywhere I had body hair, there was a scab. So I'm like, I couldn't believe how bad it was. And the reason why they did that was because so I could get it, infect myself with MRSA. And I ended up getting MRSA on my inner thigh. I won't go, it was right. And I actually got an abscess too.
Kind of looked
Thank
like a spider bite, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Now, thankfully, now since this was the third time I had it, because the first time I got it was in 2019, and dude, I was so sick. I had 104-degree fever. I got it the second time I got it was 2022 going into 2023. I had a small cut on my ear, and after I noticed after if the sore doesn't heal after a week, then that's typically MRSA. But this time I had it on my inner thigh, and it was
Oh.
an abscess formed. Um, Thankfully, I had immunity to it, and I started taking amoxicillin. Amoxicillin, that's kind of hard to get these days for some reason. But yeah, after that, but yeah, I could after there's all those I had all those bullet marks, and it was like I'm like, why are they doing this to me? Like, why do I have all these? Why are they attacking me so bad, dude? I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep on calling it. So the millimeter waves, the microwaves, I saw them. They cut my hand several times this summer, and the one time I actually saw it was, I caught it within the last, it was like a fraction of a second, but I could see the cut opening up on my finger. Um, so, yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been as involved with the TI community over the last, since the springtime, because unfortunately, within our community, they intentionally put a lot of perps in there to to basically not get us to communicate and network with each other. Now I won't, like the person who we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Dude, I was hurt over that. I was both of them. For those who are watching, here are the
But
rules.
don't say no names.
What's Oh no, I'm not gonna. No, I won't dox them. Um, but the rules I go by for, is this person a perp? So David and I, we're
And I'm
always
not saying, hold on, I'm not saying don't mention no names because of to keep everybody from not knowing who a perp is or whatever. But you know, sometimes we do get it wrong. But you know, we're about 90% sure. You know, but
right.
yeah, it's 95 actually. But you know, but we don't want to. You know, you
Yeah.
understand, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think this
Just
is a good topic: how to identify a perp.
yeah. You know what? Very much. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely a very good topic because right now that's been the problem within the community is that it's overrun with perps and it's preventing real TIs from communicating and networking with each other. And like you were telling me before, a lot of people are sensitized to certain things, and these perps know exactly what to do to trigger that to trigger you. Um, so I typically, if the other TI I'm talking to, if they are um, if they're being transparent with me, if they're answering my questions thoroughly, if they're not being antagonistic, if they're not counter, the very big thing these perps do is they counter signal. They'll play devil's advocate. Things like, it's like, why are you playing devil's advocate? That I mean, aren't you? Do you not experience the attacks I do? If they're not making any sense when you're talking to them, um, if they are, if you're under attack and they're calling you at specific times or messaging you, when you're under attack where they normally don't talk to you, that's usually an indicator that they may be a perp.
Yeah, I
Um,
get that. I'll be getting hit real hard. How you feeling? And I'm
yeah,
like, man, I just started getting.
yeah, right. It's like we don't normally talk to each other. You want to like why are
Exactly.
you messaging me now? And over the summer, the this so-called group that I had been talking to, I had initially gotten a funny vibe from them. There was a Zoom meeting I had done with this was back in March, and one of the persons I was talking to, I was asking them because I was telling them about what the gang stalkers do. So typically, gang stalkers, from my experience, they will drive cars with tinted windows, and many of them will have out of state tags. Because the reason why they have out of state tags is because they're rental vehicles or they're government cars. Um, and if the person you're talking to is disagreeing with you or telling you they're not really giving specific details, again, they're not being transparent, and that's another indicator that they could possibly be a perp. Um, I have to stress about transparency amongst us. One of the things that so in the comments section the other day, um, someone said they can see through my eyes. So that's usually I take that as okay, this guy maybe this is a person who's most likely a real TI. I'm like okay, that's how I usually know, and they know that too. And sometimes you'll have perps that will go along with you initially, but it doesn't last too long. They got to reel you in and get you to lower your guard, and then they'll begin attacking you. But yeah, so
Another thing too is uh another red flag for a perp is if you're posting evidence or posting anything about your targeting and they'll put a comment second guessing it. Are you sure of this? Or well, it could have been, or they, I got a Walmart order, and I'm agoraphobic, so the person who picked it up, they load the groceries in there, and he brings it back. So he brings it back. Both, the bacon. I got a thing of bacon, so both sides were slit open, and bacon's hanging out. They said, then they said, "Are you sure that the bacon didn't fall on the ground and both sides splits open?" You know what I'm
uh,
saying? That's impossible. I took pictures and put it on Facebook, That's just a perfect example. And then I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." Well, did you not check it before you left? And I'm like, "Well, I don't leave the house, so." But anyway, my Facebook's got the pictures of the bacon. Yeah, they'll always downplay or second guess anytime you
Yep.
start mentioning anything about your targeting.
It is impossible. Those packages of bacon are like sealed shut. You have even if you throw it to the ground, it's not going to break open. They use the millimeter waves to stick to cut it open so the bacon would fall out of the package and waste your food and make a mess for you. Yeah, they
Or
that
they
would
cut it, or they cut it with a razor blade. You know what I'm saying? The
or
people
somebody
loading it, the people, because it's Walmart, they're known perps at Walmart.
You're absolutely right about that. I keep on, yes, or it could be someone who physically cut it open, and like that never ever ever happens. Like it's
Now,
like come
one
on,
side I could understand, but both sides perfectly cut open all the way, slit all on the way.
yeah, that was somebody actually did that.
Yeah, well, see, this person was second guessing me and all that, and I'm like, well, look, I ain't even got to explain myself. Used to, when somebody would say something about me or spread a smear campaign or downplay my targeting, I'd get into argument and trying to prove myself. But these days, my character speaks for herself. I don't care what they say about me. If you can't watch my videos and figure out what kind of person I am, then that's your problem. Go believe their lies. I don't need you on my team anyway.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not
Yep.
going to waste energy. I'm getting, and then I'm with a partner that's getting hit and tortured too. And then we got cats we're trying to take care of and all kinds of V2K going on, burning, stalking outside the house. I ain't got time to waste my energy on proving who I am.
Right. hmm Yeah, your integrity speaks for itself, and you're
Exactly.
yeah. I was gonna say if anybody's wondering why I keep on doing this, so right now they since December of 2022 they have been burning my ears, and it's to the point where I can rapidly melt an ice cube on my ear. So I have to take a frozen bottle, and every couple it gets so hot. Um, and sometimes, and what they do, they sometimes it'll just be my right earlobe. Sometimes it'll just be my top left ear. Um, and man, they have a thing with attacking ears. I've heard that from many other people. But they do not. I'm getting concerned that is this eventually going to cause me to have cancer on my ears? Because I mean, how much more can my skin or my ears take this? You know, for the last month, it's been severe. Um, and they're most likely gonna punish me for doing the interview, but they can go to hell. I
They're
just
going to punish you anyway.
yeah, they would do it anyway. Right, you're
That's what I'm
exactly
saying. That's why I tell people, well, do you think I'll get punished for doing an interview? Maybe a little bit more, but either way, you're going to get punished. So,
yeah. They just make up whatever reason. Yeah, and you're right about that. They'll definitely punish me a little bit harder for doing the interview, but they would do it. They would just do it anyway, just like how they have it for the last like it's been about a month and a half now. They stopped for about a few days. I had a little bit of a reprieve, but then it went right back to the same. And they won't let me sleep. So as soon as I start falling asleep, and
yeah.
it gets it'll actually wake me up. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, over the summertime, I had encountered several TIs who I thought were my friends turned out to be they had several behaviors that would indicate that they were actually perps, and unfortunately I had to block them. And I just it's so frustrating how there has to be we have to make a concerted effort. We have to, I'm thinking maybe I should make up like a top 10 list of how we can start better networking with each other and how we can weed out all these perps within the community, because they are just they have such control over everything. Like so the other day I decided to speak in a live space on X, and of course it was two non TIs. And what's frustrating is that you'll have these people that will believe about flat Earth, They won't believe in the moon landing. They'll believe all these other psyops, but the ultimate conspiracy going. I mean, we're literally going through. This is the biggest conspiracy of all time. That the government intentionally used five. I'm going to be careful. I can't say the other thing. But they intentionally used 5G and the other incident that happened back in 2020 to bring about the mind reading, because their eventual goal is, I believe, that they can read anybody's mind using 5G, and I think it's being accomplished now, because I keep on hearing from people that they won't talk to anyone, and they'll be thinking about a particular topic or product, and all of a sudden, when they go on Amazon or on eBay, that product appears in their recommended feed, and there's
Yeah,
like,
just thinking about it.
they were just thinking about it, and it's like, I think they finally crossed the fresh. Because remember how before they couldn't just outright read your mind; they would need your EEG and a lot of your personal data. Well, now I think they can just do it as long as you got that nanotech in your body, they can read your mind.
And everybody's got it.
Right. Uh-huh.
Now
And
everybody's is not activated, but the grid is set. Everybody's got it.
yes, yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Yep. There's so it is detectable. Our bodies are emitting a MAC address. Oh, did I ever talk to you about using a magnometer? How it so the magnometer all smartphones have a built-in magnometer, and you can download a free app either in Google Play or the Apple Store, and it detects electromagnetic field. And every time that whenever, like right now, if I wish I had the another phone I could demonstrate it. But our bodies typically are putting out about, so it's measured in two different types of units, microtesla and milligauss. I usually like I like reading it with microtesla better as a unit of measurement. But so our bodies are putting out, I checked with several other people, at least a dozen other people, but their bodies are all putting out 45 to 50 microtesla units. And I'm certain that our bodies, that's abnormally high. Now, when I experience an attack, it always like right now, if I were to read my ears, it would probably read 60 or more microtesla. But that is a scientific way to actually visibly prove that there's something external going on. Because our bodies aren't magnetic sources. There should be no way for electromagnetic fields to fluctuate and elevate like that.
You see that?
There it goes. Yep. Yeah,
I just wanted to show that real quick. You can see both ends perfectly cut. That's how it came out the bag when I.
So you got it at the store, and when you picked it up, it was sealed.
Yeah, my father-in-law picked it up and brought it back. You know, they what they do is they bag the groceries, and when my father-in-law pulls up, they put them in the back of the car for him. Then he brings it here, and then I help him unload them. So boom, that's all I did was when we were unloading, I pulled it out. The bacon slipped out, boom, on the floor. Well, after I took a picture, it slipped out of my hands, but because it was on both sides. But so anyway, I don't know why they done that, but yeah, just to probably frustrate me.
Yeah, it was to waste your food, because especially if you were looking forward to eating the bacon. Yep, that they love to go after anything you like or enjoy. They want to tear that apart, like quite literally.
Back to what you said, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to show that because people be like, "Oh yeah, he didn't get no bacon like that." So I just like to. So you were saying about us giving off a MAC address. So you've done research on this?
Yeah, Dr. Len Bear did. You gotta check it out. I'll send you the. He conducted a study with patients who were, you know, and patients who didn't. And he had found that their bodies were. He had taken them to. I know he's conducted the study more than once. I can say for myself, even when I go to every time I do when I do a Bluetooth scan of who's in my network, there's always a particular Bluetooth address that comes up. I could be in the middle of nowhere, and I did this once before. I went to it was a deep woods area. I was outside of any 5G towers, and I still have the same Bluetooth address that comes up, and I believe that's the MAC address that's coming from my body, and they attach it with a erroneous label. They put like they had so the name of the the Bluetooth address they put Samsung 7 series, so they want you to think it's a TV, but and the signal strength is only 15 to 20%, and I'm certain that Samsung 7 series is actually the MAC address that's being emitted for my body. Now, here's my thing.
So it wasn't something that was connected previously, right?
No, yeah, that's how they're able to connect to our brains. And I gotta check it out. I'm sure you heard of Dr. Lambert before. Oh,
Yeah,
Dr. Duncan,
I
that's
don't
a
care
shame.
for him too much, but he does get some good research. I reached out to him about V2K in 2022 because I was having problems, and somebody told me to reach out to him, and I reached out to him, and he said, "I don't help people with V2K. He said, I don't know nothing about V2K. All I know about Savannah syndrome." And I'm
Did he
like,
really?
"What?" And I know it was him. It's Sarconicus on Twitter. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
him. So I ever since then I'm like, man, I was a victim reaching out to him, but
yeah. That's a shame. I really hope he's. I mean, he still seems legit, but
yeah,
that
his research is pretty good.
Mhm. Yeah, he seems to be. Yeah, it's definitely on point. I was on a webinar with him, Dr. Miacha, and Dr. David Nixon last October, and I had taken screenshots of the nanotech. Oh, I got to share that to you too. I'll send it to
And
you on
maybe
that.
he's just used to having targets reach out to him, and he was tired, and just didn't feel like
Yeah,
dealing with it that day. That might be possible, but still, I don't even do that if I get targets reaching out and I get frustrated sometimes. I try not to be mean like that.
yeah. Like I still like he should have been a little bit more cordial about it.
Yeah.
Um, because like yeah, it's definitely I can see how it can be frustrating, but uh,
What's your take on uh well, I was going to ask what your take on Robert Duncan is, but
yeah, I don't know. I think either they killed him or he committed suicide. That's all I can.
I think he's alive. I think he got tired of TI's reaching out to him and bugging him and stuff because there's no obituary. You can't find nothing about his death nowhere. I've searched high and
Really
low. Um, no, I don't know.
interesting. It's very strongly possible. Maybe he cut a deal with them.
Yeah,
That's
and
always
then
possible.
let me see.
Oh, that's I don't know if Brian too. Have you been? How's he been doing? That's a shame. He always shuts off the comments on his videos. I wanted to reach out to him. If you're watching this, Brian, this is Cosmic Crimes, and you're doing good work, and I feel really bad for you. And you
Oh,
got my
Brian is in some kind of immigration center trying to get out. He's stuck in Sweden.
oh
He
man,
and then he wants people to call the Swedish Migration Agency and ask for his release.
okay,
And so I'll send you he sent me a couple of screenshots with his migration number on it because he's got an ID number, and he wants people to call and try. Now I've had somebody call 3 times and they still didn't. They're not doing nothing, but at least you could call and say you done it. I can't get international calling, so I can't do it. But I have had somebody call 3 times. But now I think with this
Over,
ID number, they didn't have the ID number. But I'll send you I'll send it in Messenger the stuff, the information he sent me to call with, because they didn't have that before. The person who called didn't.
okay.
But yeah, he
Uh,
was trying to go through Sweden to. He was trying to get to Russia, and I don't know what happened, but he's in a migration camp in Sweden, as far as I know.
oh, I hope he's doing okay because
But he must
they
he posts on Facebook and stuff, and so I'm thinking he has access to a phone. But they do stuff different than they do in America. Like if you're in a mental ward in a lot of places in Europe, you can have your cell phone.
oh, okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't aware. Yeah, I gotta. I'll call the Swedish migration agency and I'll
I'm gonna give
advocate.
you the I'll give you the information when we get off here, because I got all the information and stuff. Yeah, but he's stuck there because
Man,
he was bouncing from airport to airport. He was trying to get to Russia, and he was going through Perpin and stuff. And uh,
they attack him fierce.
some people say, some people say, well, some people are leery of him lately and stuff like that. But he's never showed nothing to me. He sent me and Holly. He sent us a comic book thing with about 40 different comic books in it, but it's not comic books. It's for adults, and it's Christian stuff. And then he
Oh
sent this book, and he wants me to pass it on. Matter of fact, and if I can't get a hold of the person to pass it on I might ask him if I could pass it on to you if you're interested in reading it, and you'll pass it on to another TI that's going to
yeah.
actually read it. It's well, that's what I hate about this thing right here. We're almost done with it. It's Imagine Heaven. Well, I don't know why it won't show no outside stuff. But anyway, he sent us Imagine Heaven, Near Death Experiences, God's Promise, and the Exhilarating Future That Awaits You by John Burke. And so,
Hmm.
look, now you can see it.
Okay. Yep. There it goes. All right.
So,
Excellent.
I've never really seen signs, and then when he left the country, he actually sent me the receipt. And I got it screenshotted, but he said, man, if you're in the New York area, I can't do nothing with my car. I left the country. You can have it. And he sent me the receipt to use, and I didn't have no way up there, and it's
Mhm.
expensive day by day. So if you used to go pay it off, you're gonna pay a lot of money by now. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
I had
yeah.
no
Yeah.
ride, but that was nice of him. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew I didn't have a car. So,
Oh yeah. Wow. That's a shame. The store. I guess it was in a storage lot.
oh yeah, I guess at the airport you can rent it or put your car up, but every day it adds up. And I
Okay.
had no way to New York or nothing like that, and I tried to reach out to another TI to see if he could help, but he couldn't. So, and then by the time it was over, and it's expensive. But that was nice
Yeah.
of him. I'm just saying he ain't never showed perp activity to me. People are questioning where does he get his money to travel? I don't know. But I've never seen perp activity from him. But not dealing with because I talk to him on the phone sometimes. He calls me sometimes, and
Oh okay.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a yeah. Like when other TIs like when they aren't when they're being like again transparent, like explain like that if they're being vague. I don't have to tell you, but yeah, like he never showed like he's talking about how he's indicating specific things that the same things I have been like I know what he's talking about, like how they vibrate our foreheads, burn our ears. Um, they would even burn the inside of my mouth where the inside of my mouth would be inflamed and ulcerated. They attack him worse. I remember that one video he had where they were messing with his heart, and apparently it was pretty painful because he did not look like he was doing too well. Um, but when you have the perp, they will just feign ignorance. Again, they won't be transparent.
Look at
Let's.
that. Uh, this is Romola D's thing. It says, of cult line note Robert Duncan isn't dead, and DARPA CIA brain bioshocker hacking of humans is beyond inhumane and unlawful. Now,
Oh,
if anybody wants me to do a video and read this article right here, because I'm in an interview, just let me know. But yeah, that's why I asked you that question. I was just wondering, because
yeah.
he was
I,
getting messages left and right from TIs, asking questions. That had to have got old. What better? And then he was supposed to speak at that conference July 7th for targeted justice. So what better way to get out of there than to just But if some of his close friends are saying, yeah, he is, but I asked him, have you seen the obituary? Nobody's seen nothing, but people's talked to people who said, yeah. I just don't, I don't know.
yeah.
And if he is, I apologize. But this is a world of agents and disinfo perps and all kinds of stuff. So of course I'm going to question stuff.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you would
Yeah,
think a guy with his stature would have an obituary. But I
right.
have read that some people wish not to have an obituary.
Right.
And there's people
Yeah,
posting
yeah.
on his YouTube channel, and I think each one at YouTube or Facebook and stuff, and they're saying that they were his legacy contact and they took over his account. So maybe he is.
Yeah. Or I mean, it's also yeah. I mean, there's also that possibility that he could have just given them the legacy contact.
Yeah, well,
Uh
he said he had a dead man's hand, and his new book he was told not to release because anyway, government officials threatened him if he released it. And so he said, well, he came on Twitter and said, I'm not going to release this book because of that. So then he said, but I have a dead man's hand where if something happens to me, that book will be released. So we will see.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. The hopefully we'll see what happens. I gotta do a community post. So I do have an entire list right now for how for gang stalker pattern recognition. All the I got about 20 or more different techniques they use.
Any
Just like
interesting gang stalking stories from this summer?
let's see. Uh well, they got me to they caused me to have an accident that they wrecked my car.
Oh, that's when
Uh
they controlled your car, ain't it?
yeah, so yeah, oh man, so get this. I think they actually used harp on me about six or more times. So yeah, they're like I was telling you, I had some pretty severe gang stalking this summer. And it was always, especially when I would go into the city, it would be really heavy. But yeah, they for the second time they caused me to have a accident, and leading up to my car accident, 2 weeks before it happened, I had I almost got into a front end collision at least 5 times, and they finally got me on the sixth time. And it happened as I emerged onto the highway because Dave, I'm not exaggerating. There had to be about 40 to 60 gang stalkers, 40 to 60 cars. And unfortunately, they took advantage of the fact that they caused me to start speeding, and then I was distracted on my phone. And there was one car that was at a complete stop on the highway. I didn't. I didn't want to mention which highway. Um, so one car, and it was technically two cars because it was one car that was stopped behind him, and the car that was in front of me, he immediately swerved around, and I had a line of traffic on both sides. I could not move around this vehicle, and I rear-ended this person. And the state I live in, regardless of whatever happens, if you rear end somebody, it's automatically your fault. And when I got it, so when I hit him, he somehow steered right into a tractor trailer, and I don't know, it looked like it could have been done on purpose. Now here's the oh, also while this was going on, my car. Oh, I think I saw pictures of it. They were using the millimeter waves, the force field, to put pressure down on my car. They also caused my left side rear parking brake to lock up, and my brakes were actually engaged while I was driving, and I wore out my rear rotors and rear pads within 2 weeks. I actually had to disable my rear parking brake. And again, they're able to do this. This is how the millimeter waves they're able to use them.
Do you think
Um,
it's all millimeter waves?
yeah. It's all coming from the 5G and the satellites. They're using they're essentially it's EMF they're able to control, and that's how they're and man, it is so precise. And the I actually now this I think I told you this story before. They had me walk through one of their force fields, and dude, it is extremely. They did it to me while driving, dude.
A
It is
force field?
yeah. So the force field can actually phase through building walls, and this is what they again. This is what they're using to. They're able. They would cut my hand with it. I had a glass of iced tea where I'm sitting right now, exploded in my face. They
Is there another word for it that wouldn't sound so uh dystopia?
Yeah, I guess millimeter waves is like that's the one I because it's technically that's what microwaves are.
So that's what you mean by like a whole field of millimeter waves, right?
It's coming from the 5G towers and the satellites, and it's like it's essentially like EMF. I'm trying to think of a more proper term, but I normally just refer to as millimeter waves.
Well, I
And
know millimeter waves. I'm saying is like so it's just when you say force field, you mean like a band of millimeter waves, right? Like you
yeah,
could feel it.
yeah, they can actually create a field that you can't pass through, and it can phase through most building structures. Now you can shield yourself with aluminum paneling, or like the same thing with your microwave door. It prevents and also a wet towel. But now when I would use a wet towel, so this is 3 years ago when it first started, and how I figured out that something is attacking me. There's a video on YouTube where it shows you that guy. He demonstrates. He built basically a ray gun, the technology now has gotten so precise, and it's even stronger that you have to have a really thick towel that's soaking wet with water because again, the microwaves have the water slows down the molecules.
Oh
So
yeah, it's horrible to microwave your food, by the way. Yeah.
oh yeah, I rarely ever
I've
use
been
it.
trying to stay away from that.
Mhm. Yeah, it zaps out all the nutrients within the food.
Yeah. What little nutrients is in American food? Oh, that's another thing. Have you been taking multivitamins?
No, I don't buy. I really need to start taking
Because
them.
I was reading the other day, over 60% of the population is deficient in some kind of vitamin because of the food in America.
Oh,
And
I can
you notice they give you that choice 5 minutes in the microwave or an hour in the oven.
I So man, they attacked me. Like I was telling before, they attacked me below my waist many times. And I'm concerned about if that's gonna have if I'm gonna have any future health problems with that. Same thing with my ears. Like, how long are they gonna microwave my ears before it starts causing a problem? And you know,
Do you experience V2K along with the ear thing, or it's pretty much separate though, ain't it?
so I do experience V2K heavily during when I'm under attack. But right now, when there's no episode going on, the only V2K I will experience is if I'm about to fall asleep, and they do that to wake me up. They're because they right now I only sleep about 4 to 6 hours every night if I'm lucky, and they do that. They use the V2K on me again to just wake me up. They're heating my ears when I fall asleep. They're causing me half fatigue. That's another thing. So that's the other thing that ties into their plausible deniability. So if I stayed awake for more than 48 hours, they'll start attacking me heavily. Um, and again, it's because of the whole plausible deniability thing that they can just blame hearing voices because you've been awake for too long. And that's not the truth. You know, um,
And brain
so
entrainment is easier when you're in a sleep state or sleep deprived. And it's actually, if you're the more sleep deprived you are, the easier it is to mind control you.
yep. Yeah, right now they're cooking my ears right now.
Like they're telling me, like, see, I experienced V2K almost 20, like it's saying, you're messing up this interview, David. David, you know there's no God. You know, it just tells me all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
But you
dude,
see, I do a pretty good job at ignoring it, don't I? But I've been
yeah.
dealing with it since 2015. Now, the other day when
Oh
if
my
I'm
god.
stressed and they're running street theater and all that and stuff's going on, then they can really influence me. And I find myself falling for it. And I have to step back and say, David, come on now.
That's one of the most frustrating things. Like you would think at by this point we would have better control of it, but the technology it's so strong that like the V2K was so when I'm under attack now there's a lot of now in my area I'm pretty certain that there's I have I'm gonna say there has to be a more at least 300 people who live in my township that are actively involved perps. And every neighbor on my street, I'm certain has been compromised. Um, and there's also the people who, like, with the instance of, I've seen them psychotronically mind control certain people. So like I think you had, this is I learned it from you. You'll have well, they're called assets where they're not necessarily um on staff perps, but if they don't have a perp nearby and they're able to use a psychotronic mind control on the person, they'll do it. And it's crazy because the person they think they're acting of their own volition and they're not. And this summer I had he's no longer a good friend, but I had a good friend who he somehow misinterpreted that I had insulted his wife over a text message. And he came outside and he started to sucker punch me and gave me no explanation. And he was easily mind controlled because he was a military vet with PTSD with severe brain damage. And
Wow.
and yeah, he was easily controlled. And as much as I um, know that, because prior to that incident, we never said even like a negative thing to each other. We never got into an argument. Nothing ill of illness happened between us. And then all of a sudden he did that. And yeah, as much as I know it's them, that's the CIA. Well, I don't. Well, yeah, it's the CIA, the NSA, the perps. I still hold it against them a little bit because it's like how could you do that to me? Like why would you think I would give him rides. I was helping out him and his wife. And then then I know they were controlling his mind, but still I still hold it against him. But yeah, yeah, and since that incident, that's two less friends I have now. And they do such a good job isolating us. I have certain family members who they banned my Facebook account. I had a message you from a new Facebook account.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, they
You're gonna have to send me a request.
yeah, Yeah, I'll say oh, you might have to send me, you might have to when I go on your page, I think because the way the privacy side, or they could have my Facebook tampered, because right now I'm not able to send friend requests at the moment. Um
Oh
when
yeah,
you go
another thing I wanted to say why I'm thinking about it before it slips my mind. Here's some word of advice. If you go look at Ann Casper's page, and this person brought this to my attention, Ann Casper, you know
mm,
who that is?
I think so, I'm not
All right,
sure.
she was making videos in the nursing home and stuff, and saying what they were doing to her and killing her and
Oh,
stuff,
I
and they
know
killed her
it. Yeah,
last year. But anyway,
yeah.
uh, what they're doing is, if you have your Facebook page, I would make it where you can't be tagged, and that you have to approve any kind of tags, because what they're doing is, Ann Casper page is, you know, every time somebody tags her, they're tagging her still in these video, and it's pushing all her story and stuff down, where you got to scroll for a long time to even see anything from her. You see what I'm saying? So I don't advise letting anybody be able to tag. You can make it where you have to approve a tag, where you get to see you were tagged in something, then you can approve it and add it to your profile. Because now, if anybody wanted to go see Ann Casper's story or something, they might, they won't even get to see nothing. It's so far down, because every time somebody tags her something, it adds another post. So you have to scroll just to see the videos that she was putting out about what they were doing to her before she died.
Oh wow, yeah, that's so sad how she
And
passed
then I
away.
had somebody in 2018, uh they were, man, they were really rough on me in 2018, and I really think that they were uh trying to get me missing or whatever. Um but and the reason I think that is, uh they had this one dude come in and befriend me, and he's acting cool, and he's acting like he's going to help me and stuff. Well, I notice on Facebook, I'm going through some drama. I'm getting followed by gang stalkers and stuff. V2K is telling me it's going to happen any moment. It's going to happen any moment. Well, then I look on Facebook, and this dude says, uh, so and so is with David Atkins, and something like, it was in Texas, and I think San Antonio, Texas. Well, I wasn't in San Antonio, Texas. You see what I'm saying? So I immediately seen them block the dude and made a video about it.
Oh
So I'm saying I don't allow myself to be tagged.
yeah, I did the same thing. I don't like it. I typically don't like people tagging me either. So I have it the review option. I went honestly, I wish we could just block it out, just make it easier altogether, because I don't like being tagged either. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they
Because why would
anytime.
somebody put, well, I'm with David, so and such restaurant, and saying, and you're not even, and I wasn't even there. You see?
Oh yeah, yeah, at 100% perp. Yeah, that that I had a lot of people friend request me um earlier this year that I didn't know who they were, and get this, they were actually my gang stalkers, because I there was a few of them. I'm like, man, I think I that person looks familiar, and they were actually walking on the street, and as a mockery to me, they were on my friends list. So now I'm very vigilant as to who. If I don't recognize your name, I'm not going to approve your friend request unless I see that we have a lot of mutual friends, and if it checks out that you're a legitimate TI, then I'll approve your friend request. But now I'm like, oh man, like, so they were basically. I did a community post in my local township, and man, they actually, I had several gang stalkers reveal themselves to me. Now I don't know if they were using their real names, but they were they were outright mocking me and making fun of me in the community post. And the township group had over 40,000 members. So I started posting everything that they were doing, and apparently it got to be too much, because they blocked me and deleted my post immediately. Um, So yeah, I was speaking a little too much truth, and they didn't like that.
Yeah, I
And
got
yeah,
like 400 friend requests. So if you friend requested me and I haven't answered it or whatever, don't be offended. I'm just very leery about who I allow my,
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
got like 400 friend requests, and some of them some of them I'm like, yeah, that's a legit person, but I don't know for sure, so I'm like, nah.
Mhm.
I
Right.
deleted 800 friends last year. I had 1,200 people, and they were adding people to my Facebook without me even um have you ever experienced that? Friends just start getting put on there and you don't even know who they are?
I think I had that happen. Yeah. There was I'm like, I don't recognize any of these people. And like we only had like one or two mutual friends, if that. And they were mutual friends with the other people that I didn't know. So they most likely had to be perps. Um,
Like
and I remember,
yesterday, this Trey, some, I forgot. So anyway, this Tracy Whitney person put, "Oh, how you doing? Haven't talked to you in a while," under my YouTube channel. Well, I ain't never talked to her.
all right,
Well, I blocked her from commenting. You know what I'm saying?
mm, I think I've heard of her before. Oh, I noticed that with perps, they always use um their last name will be a first name. So they always have two first names, and they do that because you ever hear that old adage, don't trust a person with two first names. At least that's the thing I've heard. But I've noticed a lot of perps they'll have a last name like Tracy Whitney, you know what I mean, like, or like Steve Paul, or or I'm just giving it. I shouldn't just say somebody's like, but yeah, you'll have I noticed that, or they'll have names that are just or they won't have a real last name. You know what I mean? They're erroneous names, I think.
Yeah. And
Um,
Brian too says, so, like if they got a name like free Christian, stuff like that, they said that's a mockery, but who knows if that's right or not, but so I don't want to say it, but
mm, oh yeah, they had a thing for they constantly would knock over any of my pictures of my mother or father. They would knock them over. They have a thing about attacking your identity. Oh, I had a photo album my mom made for me for my 18th birthday and my high school graduation. They stole that from me. They stole my original birth certificate and my social security card. And perhaps the weirdest thing of all, um, they actually removed the transceiver from my cable modem. Now I don't know how they got my home, but one day my internet stopped working, and I decided to take a look at the modem to see if there was something wrong with it. And I remember previously the modem had dropped, and there was something loose around it in the inside, and the transceiver component popped off from its mounting. So I opened it up and I remounted it, and sure enough, a month later, the part completely disappears.
now
So
you do you so your house is do you leave your house alone sometimes?
um so recently I've been staying home a lot, but over the summer I was going out a lot, and I ordered a megaphone. They pirated it off my front steps. I thought I ordered it from Amazon, and I'm like, why hasn't it come yet? And because I was under attack, I had forgotten about it. I recently went through my order history, and yeah, it turns out it was delivered and somebody stole it, because I was actually, dude, it was getting. I'm sorry, I shouldn't keep calling you dude. It's just a bit. It's a habit of mine. Um, Oh yeah, I was going to use a megaphone to do the thing Richard Whitehouse was talking about,
Yeah.
where I put a megaphone up to certain areas of your body, the megaphone will start blaring. And I was going to use that, and then I was also going to holler at my gang stalkers too. Um,
So
yeah,
what's
man,
your opinion on that? Do you think that works?
Oh yeah, I think it's legitimate because again, I guarantee that if you wherever the megaphone beeps at, I'm certain that the magnometer will read an elevated EMF reading from that particular area.
But you would
I
really have to go, you really, to be 100% sure, you'd have to go in a wooded area to really use it. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Because it could really give off, with all the electronics and stuff in a house, it might give off a false.
Oh yeah. Yup. That was one of the things Dr. Lembert had said. If you want to check to see if your body is emitting a MAC address, to go out to a preferably an area outside where there's you're far from a 5G tower in a wooded area. Put your phone in airplane mode and then do a Bluetooth scan. Um, and if you keep on, just like I had that erroneous Bluetooth address that always comes up, that's got a weak signal percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain that's the now. My question is, I think there's a company that owns the MAC address to your body because for some reason we don't own the rights to our own biometric data. And I'm wondering if there's a way we can place a like injunction on that because if we can sever the MAC address that's being emitted from our bodies, I think that would cut off the V2K and the active denial attacks. And because if they're not able to connect to your brain, they're not able to do anything else to you. They won't even be able to read your mind. Um.
I
So
think, personally, I think we were the beta test for 6Gs. Like I think 6G's been out. We're beta test, and because it says our bodies will our bodies produce enough energy to run 6G itself.
oh yeah, absolutely 100%. They've been experimenting on us. There's that, and boy, that I'll be honest, David. If we ever had the opportunity to oust all of them, I don't want them to have trial rights. I want these people to go in front of a tribunal and be sent and be sentenced. Because they're literally committing war crimes on us, and for what they've done, for they to read our minds, to take away our own autonomy and agency, the way they've humiliated us, all the evil, despicable things they've done to our lives. They've gone above and beyond what their acts of malice are so severe that I don't in this particular situation. Oh, and believe me, both of us, you deserve to have at least $50 million. Like for all the nightmare they put you through. Man, the but I'm certain that something's going to happen. Because this will come to an end eventually. We just have to keep on fighting, you know, as far as possible, because these people have to be identified, outed. Everything they put us through, they had to experience for themselves. Um, they've caused me for the last 4 years, and you've been dealing with it for even way longer. They're monsters, man. Um, we are going to get them though. We have to continue. That's why we have to get rid of these perps in our community. And there right now, there's there's another YouTube channel. His name's Gang Stalking Simulation. He lives in my area. He only lives about 4 or 5 miles from me. I recognize the roads he was driving on. I try to reach out to him. So, YouTube's been auto deleting my comments again. There was a couple of comments I tried leaving on your one of your community posts, and I come back to it and it disappeared. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. I don't delete comments unless they're
oh,
perp comments. If they're perp comments, I will screenshot them, then delete them, and then block that person from being able to comment.
Good.
Also, I'm trying to think what else I was gonna say. So don't think I'm deleting anybody's
Oh,
comments because I really don't. Well, I
I
know
I
you
pre-
know better. I'm just there's some people have been saying, "Where'd my comments go?" It's YouTube. It's not us.
mm, yeah. I mean, I could see like there's no way you could delete a comment within 1 second of me posting it. Like it's
Right.
just possible. Like I stream recorded it before. It happens within it's just no way. Like I can see like if a comment disappeared like after like 3 or 4 hours, then it's like then I know you wouldn't delete the comment, but it's them doing it. It's 1% them. I just like
And
that. I guess it's either YouTube itself or it's the hacking into our phones.
I got
Oh,
this morning. Look, I got this morning. You see that this YouTube video has been like 8 or 9 months ago. So they're going through the videos, but they said we want our team reviewed your content and we think it violates our community. We know you may not have realized this, obviously so. It's been 9 months, it's been up, was a violation, so we're not applying a strike to your channel. However, we removed the following content. And it was I think Catherine Horton and Bill Benny video. So yeah, so they're really on me. So I'm gonna
do you have a
upload
backup
all my
channel?
stuff to Rumble.
Oh,
But I'm
good.
gonna
Okay.
stay on YouTube, but just in case as a backup.
Is your Rumble channel the same name?
Uh, I really haven't. I only got like a few videos on Rumble because I really haven't had the time from dealing with torture and life and all that. Let's see what I don't even know what my Rumble name is. Let's see what it is. I only got two followers. It's called Targeted Hard.
Okay.
And I've only got 6 videos up.
Yeah, that's D Live and Odyssey. Odyssey, I don't know what's going on with Odyssey right now. Odyssey's a little. I'll be honest. It, it's dude. It's a little janky. The app. It's very slow. D Live is a much better format. Everything moves very quickly, or it's very
Is it kind of
fast.
like YouTube?
D Live, it's more like a Twitch.
Hey, guess
Uh,
who's got a big investment in Rumble?
oh, BlackRock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. you know, they're a very big player. I have to
So
wonder
you
if
know
they're.
what that means, don't you? A lot of them, the CIA is good at this disinformation and have you go down rabbit holes that you don't need to be going down because it's totally to throw you off. So I think a lot, I'm not saying everybody who posts to Rumble because I know that's not true, but I'm saying just think of how much disinfo they're involved in putting in Rumble.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, any platform, but I just think it's weird. Black Rod, I uh,
There's I'll tell you, if there's anybody who's promoting the Matrix theory, like we're in a simulation, that's a perp. Do not believe that person. They're like who I'm talking about, but yeah, that
well,
do
I
not.
think, well, you talking about like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. But I do think, I don't think it's so much as a simulation because we're definitely, I mean, if I pinch myself right now, I'm going to feel it.
Mm,
So you would think,
yeah,
now,
I
like,
heard like the the electric universe, like the holographic. I that I know that I could could see more of a possibility behind that.
now I have heard that, you know, the Luciferian agenda is to, uh, because I do think this is a prison planet though, with negative energy all around. That's what they want. That's one of the reasons they target, because a lot of the target individuals are empaths and very good people, deep down inside, and what they want to do is take the love out of them and make them bitter and put more negative energy in the grid. Uh, David Icke mentioned he can explain the prison planet pretty good. I don't
Oh yeah.
agree with everything David Icke says, but he does pretty good about the negative energy in the prison planet. Because this
Well,
world's getting more cold and hateful. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
back in the '80s, it was American families, and it it was like not. I didn't mean like it was the American dream in the '80s. You know what I'm saying? A lot less
Mhm.
crime, a lot more neighborly love, people
We
getting
have,
along.
right now, there's been an agenda that's been going on. They are the whole thing about. I have to be careful what I'm going to say. The whole agenda to
Yeah, don't even say it. Trust me, I'm under fire.
yeah, they want to promote their anything that can ruin the nuclear family. There's definitely a genocide going on against white people.
Oh,
I'll,
okay.
yeah, so we used the total global population of white people is 9%. It used to be 30%. That's why they're promoting, any lifestyles. They're promoting all the non-traditional lifestyles. Um, and a lot of that's why they're getting children to do reassignment surgery. They're flooding all the white countries with migrants. And I have to be careful as to what I say because, again, these days, like anything you say negative about their agenda, you're racist, you're anti Semitic, you're
Right.
this. But yeah, but yeah, they're promoting all these things. I
I,
got, I you think I don't want to say I'm maybe I shouldn't say
yeah.
uh natural miscarriages. I'll just term it that way, or they really again because again it all comes down to ritualistic um sacrifice
Right.
and
And see, I don't have nothing against gay people. I'm not homophobic and, I'm not gay, but I don't have nothing against them. But they are pushing
yes,
and they're doing that for population control too, because they're
yeah,
trying to control all that. And then Brian too, and I've heard a couple other people say it, by 20, if everything goes right by 2040, 2050, maybe even earlier, there won't be a real legit human being on this earth.
right, yeah,
It'll be synths. SYNTH, like Fallout.
mm-hmm.
Remember the game Fallout where the synth there's you got your humans that survived it, and then you got the robot like the synth, they're synthetic beings. Oh
Check that out. Yeah,
yeah. Hey, you got Netflix, don't you?
yes, yeah,
Oh, watch the series called The Madness. It's 8
man,
episodes. If you want to see targeting at its best and examples of how they target people and ruin people, The Madness. And every target I've referred this to came back and said, David, wow. It's only 8 episodes. It's a limited series. And hey, that man goes through hell.
what about the other movie that came out earlier this year? What was it called again? The Obamas actually produced it.
Oh, leave the world behind.
Yeah. What there's a scene where now I haven't actually watched yet, but I saw from the trailer the girl hears a real high pitched noise and the glass cracked in front of her. Same thing happened to me, and that's the millimeter waves.
Yeah.
That
And
that
also,
was a microwave attack.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let me look it up real quick, man. Yeah. Dang. A cyber attack to our family. And see. Uh, anyway, I was watching something where in that movie they mention uh or something about Russia anyway. And so anyway, but we're into it with Russia, and I really think that uh Biden is trying to do everything he can to ruin America for you know
Oh
Even though
man, yeah.
I will never express my political views on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Just to
Right.
keep everybody, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, I don't, because the world is so, what do you call it? Picky. I don't know what you call it. One-sided, uh, you know, but really
Every
both sides are controlled by if you follow the money, that's who controls either side.
yes, yes, yeah.
Follow the
They're
money and you'll find out who's making the calls for which campaign.
mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but I really hope this administration does what they say. But I really feel like Biden is doing everything he can to destroy everything before uh Trump
Oh yeah.
Trump gets back in office. Also, did you see where I was watching something the other day where this dude in the UK, he's a I forgot his name. Anyway, he's a high up person. Well, anyway, he whistleblowed and said the immigration thing was all an experiment.
Oh yeah. How they flooded
Which
my.
makes sense on why they were getting so much money to come over here, because it's
Yeah.
some kind of experimentation they're doing. And I wish I could quote the dude word for word, and I can't, so I'm not going to try. But yeah, he's a whistleblower in the UK, and if I can find that, he said that it he said these experiments of immigration has ruined a bunch of countries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're having a lot of problems right now. There was in Germany earlier. It was about 4 months ago. This uh one of the Arab migrants. They're violent. He was going around stabbing people at this protest. So the one of the white German citizens want to hold down the attacker. The cop, he tried to save the cop from being stabbed. So the cop went to arrest the guy, the German citizen, and the Arab migrant turned around and started stabbing the cop. And it's like completely crazy. Like because this guy was trying to save the cop, and the cop went to arrest him and not the immigrant.
Right. And
Um,
don't get me wrong, uh uh the America, you got people that really come to escape poverty in that country and come over here and work hard. America was really built by immigrants, you know what I'm saying? But the
right.
ones coming over now seem to be like, there's a different agenda, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't have nothing against none that come over here and establish themselves and got themselves situated, and they work hard every day. You know what I'm saying? And don't bother nobody, and they come home and take care of their family. I can see that, but coming over here just to run around and hurt people and all that.
Yeah. I mean, there was that one case of the squatting walls in New York are ridiculous. That they're at the poor woman. She was arrested because she tried changing the locks on her own second home, and the squatting walls are very much in the favor of these migrants who were these invaders who are coming into the country. And essentially, he stole this woman's house from her, and she was arrested for trying to evict this man. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Uh,
seen there was something in Vegas. I forgot. I mean, not Vegas, Hollywood. This dude, these squatters. I don't know if you've seen that, but these squatters like spray painted this house, lived in this house and then they finally got them out. But yeah, they were living in this house in this mansion in Beverly Hills, and the only reason they even noticed is they were so stupid. They spray painted this and tagged everything on the house and everything, and were living there, refused to get out, and it took
oh
months to get them out.
wow.
And
It's,
this is
it's
a mansion, and the neighbors were mad at the dude for letting it happen. I forgot what actor it was, but yeah, it was crazy.
David. Is it okay if I gotta ice my ears real quick, and I want to
Yeah,
grab.
we got about 7 minutes. Do you want to just go ahead and end it now, or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you coming out, and hopefully in a few months we can do this again because I always like talking to you. Uh,
Oh yeah. I consider you like a brother, David.
Sorry I don't reach out to you much, but
That's okay.
as we get to know each other though, but yeah, I, I don't reach out too much because I'm trying to answer all these messages and be there for all
I'm
these
sorry you did
targets.
that.
You know what I'm saying? It gets overwhelming a lot, and then I'm dealing with stuff myself, and
Oh
Holly's
yeah.
dealing with stuff. So it's not that I'm not not trying to be your friend or anything like that. It's just, man, by the time I answer all these messages, it's exhausting sometimes, you know?
Oh yeah. You're first of all, you're not getting good sleep. You're dealing with, like you said, you're dealing with your other
And
issues.
I still hope you get your channel up and going because,
Yeah,
you're a very
I
knowledgeable guy.
start uploading content, and I just have to do it. I've talked about, but now there's time more than ever. I need to start doing it because we it's such a shame that the community is it's disorganized because of these perps, and I want to make it one of my personal missions to eliminate these people. And if we can do
When
that.
he says eliminate, he does not mean unalive, just for the
Oh
record.
no, I just need to exclude them from our
Right.
party. I apologize
You
for
know how
that.
they like twisting stuff.
Oh, they certainly do. Yeah. Mm, won't they ever?
But
Oh
hey,
my God.
I'm gonna stop the recording. I really appreciate you coming out. And then I got one thing I'm gonna ask you when we get off here about the game stuff we were talking about earlier, like the video
Oh
games.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.